Kevin Hincks, co-host of Fast Market, is here with me. We kick off this hour from the CBOE. Good morning to you. Another up arrow morning here for Wall Street. They'll take it, I believe.
Good morning, Nicole. Yeah, objects in motion, right? There's really been no headline that has taken away from this overall market that is just on fire, feeding off not only good headlines coming out of the Trump administration, but good economic data, good earnings. We're moving closer and closer to Nvidia's earnings on May 28th. You've got good news, for Nvidia and chip makers. They're all up this morning. Tesla's up this morning. So without a headline to change the narrative right now, looking forward to PPI data tomorrow and retail sales data, the path of least resistance right now is higher, Nicole.
Yeah, it really seems that way. And the fact that we're positive for the NASDAQ, positive for the S&P 500 for 2025. So all that worry and the havoc. Now, some stocks have not come back. I mean, we're aware of that, folks. But we will say that the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are now positive for the year, and that in itself is a good feeling. And one of the elements of the recipe was to settle and get some the tariff trade deals done. The other was tax, and that seems to be moving forward, that tax bill. Good news there.
Yeah, exactly right. So, there is good news and progress. And I want you to think about something, Nicole. April 16th, Wednesday, that was the day that Jerome Powell spoke to the Economic Club of Chicago and said those things about uncertainty and what tariffs would do. The NASDAQ on that day closed 18,257. The S&P, 5275. Look at the rallies from those levels. It's almost exactly 1 month since that was. So when we hear Jerome Powell tomorrow and the other Fed speakers today, what are they going to say about the overall changes since then, with better economic data on inflation, with better news headlines on the overall tariff picture? How are they going to present this? Because if you're looking at inflation as a reason to keep interest rates high, that's not happening. Inflation has been working its way down. And by the way, the expectations for tomorrow on PPI, year-over-year headline from 2.7% down to 2.4%. The year-over-year core from 3.3% down to 3%. So more positive news is expected on inflation when we get PPI tomorrow. Now, I don't expect the same move as we get on the more high-profile CPI data, but it's still really positive inflation data at the producer level, Nicole.
Yeah, without a doubt. Also, so we'll have Fed speakers, we'll have Jay Powell tomorrow. Everybody will be hanging on every single word, I'm sure. And then, we're going to be talking about some of the analyst calls, upgrades and downgrades, but nice calls on the semis, which just really helps the market overall when you see some positivity there for Nvidia and AMD and things like that.
Right, because deals, think about it, there was big worry about China and their ability to buy Nvidia chips and AMD chips, and the market loved to put a dollar figure on how much it would cost those two firms. Well, now you throw in a major deal with Saudi Arabia and a major deal in the Middle East, and now what does that give you? Does that replace the China orders, or does that add to it? Is there a new chip? So it's nothing but good news. You've got Nvidia up more than 3% pre-market. You've got AMD, I think, up more than 4%. You've got Tesla up about $9 pre-market. So the rally in those stocks, the recovery based on good headlines, continues.
Yeah, and last but not least, mortgage apps, some updates there.
Small gains in mortgage apps, purchases up 2.3%, refis actually down 0.4%, so the composite was up about 1.1%. So not a flashy number out of mortgage apps. We get this every Wednesday morning, but a solid gain in terms of the composite on mortgages.
All right, Kevin Hincks, great to see you this morning. Appreciate it.